It's one thing to obey the central bank's directive to get the bank verification number. It's another for the regulator to ensure that the data provided by customers are safe. That's coming from a commercial lawyer, Mr. George Itomi. Mr. Itomi also believes that those who evaded the exercise owing to some hidden motives may have themselves to blame.
I do see the concern of some citizens. Why do I have all my data out there? Nigeria is not too well known for data protection and all that. They may well have an argument, but in arguments like this, you have to look at the pros, weigh them against the cons. The pros here is that if we do it, one will be aligning ourselves with global trends. It's not just, this is not peculiar to Nigeria. Elsewhere, data protection is taken very seriously, and if somebody's data is misused, there are dire consequences. So what we will be calling for is for a similar thing. And I know that there is so much going on. The legislature is working on it such that Nigerians feel that they have not just given away their lives information, left it with somebody who can themselves misuse it without any consequence. If anybody deliberately evaded the process, I don't know how that immediately translates to someone not knowing that you have the money. You've only just prevented yourself from having access to your own money, except, of course, the account was opened under a fictitious name, in which case there's an issue there.
The House of Representatives has mandated its Committee on Aviation to investigate malpractices by airlines operators in Nigeria's airspace and their treatment of passengers. This resolution followed a motion on the need to adhere to international best practices presented by Representative Rita Orji. Those who contributed on the motion said that airline operators in Nigeria engage in many malpractices, ranging from cancellation of scheduled flights to outright sale of tickets by its passengers.
Also aware of the series of challenges being faced by airline passengers and the apparent lack of commitment by airline operators in addressing these complaints, particularly the lack of compliance with Part 19 of the Consumers Protection Regulation Act. Furthermore, the House is aware of the frequent cancellations or delay of flights, at times without any information or payment of compensation by the operators for the inconveniences or losses suffered by the passengers. The House is also concerned that the Nigerian civil aviation has not done enough to ensure the airline operators abide by Part 19 of the Consumers Protection Rights of the Civil Aviation 2006.
Also, members of the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Works are continuing their inspection of erosion sites in parts of southern Nigeria, and this time they are in Edo State, where they have attributed the poor state of Nigerian roads, particularly in the south, to the effect of gully erosion. Chairman of the committee, Senator Barnabas Gamade, who led the members on the inspection, stated the situation needs to be reversed as a matter of urgency. He added that reports from the fact-finding will be sent to the National Assembly for further deliberations.
The Senate Committee on Works, currently on a tour of gully erosion sites in some states in southern Nigeria, arrived at the Edo State Government House in Benin City, the Edo State capital. The leader of the team, Senator Barnabas Gamade, states their mission in the state.
It became necessary for Senate to resolve to send the National Committee to see things for themselves and bring a report to plenary, so that adequate and strong recommendations will be made for palliative measures on some of these disasters.
Here in the Edo State, you'll be surprised to hear that we have 108 active sites. I say 108 active sites. We are only presently working on 3 and developing plans or designs on 10 others.
formalities done with, it was time to proceed to the erosion sites. First stop is the Okokwo village in Avia Northeast local government area of Edo State.
We've been very strong recommendations to all the agencies of federal government that are connected with it, particularly the Ecological Fund office. But they are supposed to fund projects like this, because they are actually beyond the scope of the state government. That's about that.
Here is another site in the main campus of the University of Benin. The tour of Gali erosion sites across different states can best be described as an eye-opener. Senator Gemade summarizes the issues thus.
It is really the gully erosion that is actually damaging the roads. So most of the places where roads are cut off and so on, we found out that it's expansion of ravines like this that have caused the erosion of the roads. This is an enormous problem in the country, and especially in the southern part of the country where there's so much rain, and the soil is not that strong. So you see that water is washing away the grounds as quickly as the rains come.
From this tour, the expectation is that the reports will not only get back to the Senate, but that it should generate the prompt attention of the lawmakers.
Next on the news at 10 is our business news, and here's Anne Wawado.
You first. First Bank.
Hello and welcome to Business News. The Central Bank of Nigeria has cleared Stanbic IBTC Bank over allegations of non-disclosure of its tangible assets in its 2013 and 2014 financials. The Apex Bank, in its reaction to the indictment of Stanbic IBTC Bank by the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, FRCN, over its 2013 and 2014 financials, faulted the report after conducting its own review of the bank's results for the period under review. The CBN noted that although Stanbic IBTC erred in its classification of some line items, the identified misclassifications did not understate or overstate its assets and liabilities. Neither did it increase or decrease its income or expenditure in a manner that would have caused a material misrepresentation of the bank's financials. Specifically, the CBN says its review revealed that contrary to all allegations that Stanbic IBTC did not obtain approval from the National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion, NOTAP, for the payments of its affiliate software license, the bank actually obtained the necessary approval from NOTAP for the payment of the Standard Bank South Africa, that's SBSA, for a period of 3 years covering June 1st, 2012 to May 13, 2015. Well, the Nigerian Stock Exchange says that it remains firm on its review of Owando's delayed filing of 2014 financial reports and the recorded losses in the 3 quarters of 2015. The statement from the exchange says that Owando has been sanctioned for violations of its post-listing obligations in accordance with applicable rules of the exchange. Following the local bourse's initial engagement with Owando stock management, the next phase of investigations will see an engagement with Owando's audit committee and its external auditors. According to the NSE, the outcome of these investigations will determine the appropriate sanctions for the piles of infractions. Well, equities at the Nigerian Stock Exchange today were dragged south, ending the day's session at 29,052.87. Bisi Adebayo has the details.
Hello there. Welcome to the Stock Market Reports. Sell pressure continued at the Nigeria equities market, dragging the key broad index further south. The all-share index dipped by 0.29% to end Tuesday's session at 29,052.87, with a lower market capitalization of 9.98 trillion naira. Total dead 13 other price losers, which also include Unilever and GlaxoSmithKline. On the advances list, Guinness came first with a 4.99% increase at 129 naira 93 kobo. Okomo oil gained 4.07% to close at 30 naira 20 kobo, while Dangote cement also grew by 0.62% to end the session at 163 naira. On the volume chart, FBN Holdings polled 36.02 million units of shares, and it's followed by Law Union with 25.22 million shares and UBA with 18.22 million shares. When the closing gong rang, investors had exchanged 166.75 million shares valued at 1.12 billion naira and traded in 3,287 deals. And that ends the stock market reports. I am BC Adebayo.
Thanks a lot, BC. Well, the federal government is already gearing up to fund small and medium enterprises in Nigeria through its World Bank-assisted $165 million growth and employment project. At a meeting with fund managers and equity investors in Lagos, coordinators of the fund, the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, as well as the World Bank, confirmed that the first equity window of the project will soon be open for subscriptions.
The main objective in the case of this project is to generate jobs and increase incomes for the lower income population. That's the main objective. The second, or economic objective, is to assist the economy to diversify away from an oil-centered economy. It's targeting the manufacturing sector, light manufacturing sector, the construction industry, entertainment sector, the hospitality sector. Those are the main areas that it's ICT area as well, ICT sector.
The funding intervention we are going to make is directly to the fund managers and those equity investors, not to MSME directly. But for them to get this, they have to also register on the big platform, which is called the Business and Innovation and Growth Platform. That will be launched early December. So the essence of this is to sensitize those in the industry on how this intervention is going to be made.
The Nigerian Communications Commission, the NCC, has approved the renewal and consequent extension of the tenure of MTN's operating license. For the renewal, which is worth more than $94.2 million, ends speculation around the future of the mobile network operator in the country. MTN is one of the 3 mobile operators issued with licenses, and with this renewal and extension, the company's operating spectrum, which was issued along with a digital mobile license in 2001, has now been extended to August 2021. Meanwhile, the group CEO, Sifiso Dabengwa, has arrived in Abuja to negotiate a soft landing for the company. And most major markets around the globe today ended in the negative territory. Let's see some of those figures. It's a wrap on business news for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I am Anne Mwawadu. Sulaiman will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
You first. First Bank.
The coming days will witness a massive deployment of officers of the Nigerian police and other security agencies in Rivers State. The words of the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 6, AIG, Baba Bolanta, is anything to go by. The AIG, who is on his first official visit to the Rivers State Police Command, was in the company of heads of other security agencies. He noticed that the new move is to stabilize the security situation in the state and ward off any wave of security tension.
It's a meeting of security chiefs led by the AIG in charge of Zone 6 and other security stakeholders in Rivers State at the headquarters of the police command in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. The concern is the recent security reports in the state and to reaffirm the resolve of the security agencies to rise to the occasion.
We need the cooperation of members of the public. That is why I directed the CP to give out dedicated phone numbers so that once there is any security threat or you observe anything, you call those numbers and they will quickly respond and come to your aid. It is important that you cooperate with the security agent.
The AIG informs journalists that there is an ongoing deployment of security personnel and equipment to flashpoints.
Well, that one, we recognize that and we have taken judicial notice. And if you observe those places you are talking about, you will see that you have increased number of personnel and equipment in those places. For now, we are going to employ the whole arm of the police to make sure we have improved security. And there will be increased collaboration with other security agents too.
Some say this sort of meetings have become necessary following the recent tribunal judgment and to also deal with the wave of crime and criminality in the state. Emmanuel Ere, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, the Confederation of African Football hands African champions, Super Falcons, a bye to the second round of qualifiers for the 2016 African Women's Championship to be hosted by Cameroon. That's on Sports News.